Okay guys, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a geometry of straight line. We're looking at the alternating angle. What is alternating angle? The alternating angles are angles that are equal and you find them in parallel lines with a transversal. Now let's look at this case. You find the transversal by by Z or in N in parallel lines with a transversal. Let's look at this. We have a line AC and B and DF, and there's a transversal GH. Now, if you look here in this parallel lines with the transversal, you can look for Z. Here's the Z. This Z shape, that means this angle and this angles are what? Are equal. So in this case, that means it's E1, it's equivalent to B4. And here's another Z shape, this and this. B3, angle B3 is equal to angle E2. Those are alternating angles. Okay, now how do you write this in terms of statement? You say, um, you say, okay, which angle? Let's look at angle B3 is equivalent to angle E. B3, we said its angle to E2, angle E2. The reason for that, this is a statement, we'll say alternate angles equal because line AC is parallel to what? To DF. Or we can say angle B4 is equal, angle B4 is equal to angle E1. Same reason, right? Let's look at this. You have the parallel lines A, B, and CD, and you have a transversal there. Do you see there's a Z shape? And here's another Z shape between the parallel lines, and here's the N shape, which means these angles are equal. Here's the N shape there. Right, now let's look at the examples now. These examples, you have two parallel lines PQ and RS, and the transversal we're looking for A. But if you look here very closely, you have a Z shape there. That Z shape there, it means A is equivalent to 146. So that's number one. We say A is equal to 146 degrees. The reason it's what? Alternate angles equal, because line PQ is parallel to RS. And then number two it's this. Number two, you have these two parallel lines LG and NC, and the transversal EB. Now there's a Z shape there, that means 60 is equivalent to this. So how are we doing that? We'll say 8 y minus 4 is equal to 60 degrees. The reason is their alternate angles equal because line LG is parallel to it, to NC, to line NC. So we'll say 8 would transpose the 4. So divide, it's going to be what? 60 degrees minus, it's not going to be minus, it's minus, and this side is going to be plus there. So we're going to have 64. 8y is equal to 64, and then we say 64 divide by 8. So we divide by 8 both sides. So we'll have y is equal to 8 degrees. So this y is equal to 8 degrees, but finding this angle that is really equal to 60, we'll say 8 multiplied by 8 minus 4. So 8 times 8 is 64. So it's going to be 64 minus 4, it's going to be 60 degrees. So this angle is 60. We have proven that. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, you have these two parallel lines AB and CD, and look for Z shape here. Here's the Z shape or an N shape there. So that means X is equal to 136. So number 3, X is equal to 136 degrees. The reason it's alternate angles equal because line AB is parallel line to CD. Okay, let's go to number 4. Number 4, we have these two lines AB and DE and the transversal there. So if you can see there's a Z shape. B is equal to 113 there. B, okay, let me write it. B is equal to 113 degrees. Alternating angles equal because line AB is parallel to line DE, right? So let's go to number 5. Number 5 here. Okay, let me just write it here. Let me just write number 5 here. Number 5, if you look here, looking for an alternating angle, X is equal to Y or Y is equal to X, but both of them we do not know. How are we going to find Y there? How are we going to find X and Y there? We have a straight line. We're going to use the angles in a straight line, which is the adjacent angles in a straight line. So we'll say X, we'll first find X. We'll say X plus 81 equal to 180. We'll say its angles in a straight line. Angles in a straight line, then we say X is equal to 180 minus 81 degrees. So X is going to be equal to 99. So our X here is equal to what? 99 degrees. So now since Y is equal to X, and the reason for that, they are what? They are alternating angles equal. What is the reason for that? It's because line NP is parallel to FE, line FE. So we're looking for Y. Since we know our X is 99, that means our Y is also 99. Let's look at the last one. The last one here, if you can see there, we have parallel lines there, and that's a transversal. That's a transversal there, and they form a what? A Z shape there. This is quite simple. So this is a Z shape or an N shape there, for alternating angles. That means our X there, our X is equal to 62 degrees, and the reason for that, we'll say it's alternating angles equal because line MN is parallel to line OP, and that's it. Okay guys, let's look at the 7th example. The 7th example here, it says in the diagram below, calculate the size of X. So here we are looking for X, but what we need to note here, there are these parallel lines, right? Okay, let's label these parallel lines. This is A, B, C, D, E. Let's say that. Okay, now in these parallel lines, if you're looking here, these are the two parallel lines, and this is the transversal, right? It cuts the two. This is not a transversal, guys. A transversal, it's this. Now in this transversal, you can see there's a Z shape here, which means that this angle is equal to that angle. So this is how we're going to calculate. I'm going to write it here, guys. Number 7, we are going to say this entire angle is equal to 60. We'll say X plus 20 degrees equal to 60 degrees, which is alternating angles equal because because of the parallel lines, which is AB is parallel to DE. Right? X is equal to, we transpose the 20, it's 60 minus 20 degrees. X is equal to 40 degrees. Right? So our X is 40, this is 40 degrees. And it makes sense to say 40 plus 20, it makes 60. Those are the alternating angles. It proves that these two angles are equal.